Welcome back to another YPL Team Spotlight. We're getting closer to the start of the season, and it's time to meet another key player in the league. But today's a bit different. I'm going to pass the mic to one of our very own coaches, the always electric, always unhinged, and definitely opinionated, Kinky Nesquik, head of the LA Linoons. But something special, he'll be interviewing none other than me, Jingles, coach of the Toronto Six. I figured that we've kind of talked to all the other teams, and people might want to hear what I have to say about my team or not, but I'm not going to interview myself, so take it away, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for the handoff, Shay. This is an official Team Rocket takeover, so you better be ready.
I love it.
'Cause this is going to be it's going to be difficult.
Probably not. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and to start this, I'm just going to say welcome to your tape. Oh wow, that's
welcome.
Completely different thing. But
yes.
Yeah, welcome to your tape. Yeah.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah. All right, so cool. Yeah, so let's start with your first question. Okay, so can you tell us the origin of your name? Are you like a Drake fan?
No.
Or is there like
next question? No. Next question.
Because I know Drake is in your
Oh, jeez.
Famous, but yeah, are you? Where does Toronto Six come from?
Dude, is this what people thought when I asked them weird questions about their team name? I shouldn't have done that. The Toronto Six, I just thought it worked in so many different ways. Charizard obviously being like a really awesome Pokemon, and historically, I'm a Gen 1er by nature. I was literally 10 years old when Ash Ketchum started his journey. Yeah, Gen 1 all the way. So Charizard is not my favorite Pokemon, but very special to me. And there's so many things that the number 6 just symbolizes, right? You got, obviously, Toronto's called the Six sometimes by some people and make music. Then there's actually I think it's a WNBA team that's called the Toronto Six as well, I think.
Okay.
Not spelled like that, but whatever. And then obviously you have 6 Pokemon on a team and things like that. So yeah, Toronto and Charizard is actually the 6th Pokemon in the Pokedex. So it was a happy accident. I just picked Toronto 6, and all of these things just happened to be a coincidence. So,
wow, that was a very long-winded response. That was a yes or no question, but okay.
Don't need a whole life story.
We could, yeah. I didn't need a whole life story. I just needed a yes or no. But all right, cool, man.
Should I play the clip?
I've
got it here. Where is it?
Oh no.
Where is it? I'll do it. Where is it?
Okay.
Everybody, be patient. There it is.
I don't need a whole life story, just yes or no.
There we go.
Yeah,
like you didn't hear that.
The words of Scott Disick, yeah. All right, cool. So let's move on to the draft, because I know we talked a little bit about your draft approach, and I know you're a big time draft prepper. So I guess if you want to kind of take us through your mind of how you usually do your drafts, and I guess like how did you approach this draft? Because it was pretty interesting. Because as you know, I'm not sure if you've heard, but the draft was you can draft whatever you want. There was no tiers, there was no point systems. It was just everybody go get them. So just to give you a brief rundown of how the draft format was. But yeah, if you want to tell us what your draft strategy was going into this, and how you usually do your draft prep.
Well, I was really surprised finding out that the format was going to be like this when I decided it. It was it was really weird, man, just to kind of say the words and enter it in the announcements. But it's I've always wanted to do something like this, and I didn't know how it was going to go. I talked to a few different people saying they've done it before, and they said it wasn't that bad because obviously the fear is just what's too much power in draft. Are you not going to have answers for things? But I am looking at the teams. It's looking pretty balanced. I think balanced as in team versus team, not teams are kind of broken, so call balance whatever you want. But when it comes to like my team and deciding it, my best season I've ever had was with Ogre Upon Hearthflame, and playing with the cast that we have, like all the other coaches. I needed to bring my A game because there's no bad players here. There's no free weeks except for one. And then we all know what it is. But
Kev sucks.
Yeah, Kev sucks. So yeah, I decided to go with Ogrepawn. It just offers so many different things. Like it's like a Swiss Army knife, and it hits so hard. Like this thing, I remember when it popped in the VGC format, like when it became legal, Terra Fire and then that signature move and then getting all the secondary boosts from its ability and it's just an Oko machine, getting the +1 and then I'm adding Sun to it just so have fun everybody. That thing is going to KO resisted hits. So yeah, I figured I'd go with the most damage possible, and then obviously the follow me and things like that, and encore and knockoff. It just does a bunch of different things. And then the core that I drafted last time I used it was Hearthflame, Primarina, and Sandy Shocks. They cover each other perfectly. So as for a trio, I decided to go with that, and then just grab pieces as I went, which all seem to kind of spell the what's it called? The style of play and what are they called? Archetype.
Yeah. So I know when we talked, I think a little bit afterwards, you mentioned that you were nervous about your draft in comparison to looking at some of the other teams. You want to kind of elaborate on to why you thought that was, or because I guess that kind of leads into like how you thought you drafted. Like, did you think, yes, you got everything you wanted, but like, and yes, you got, we talked about Hearthflame, but do you think the rest of the team stacks up with the power level that I think some of these teams have? Like, I guess I'll just let you kind of speak to that a little bit.
See, that's a good question, because I did say that, and I still kind of feel that a little bit, but there's also a little bit of the grass is always greener on the other side, keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. What you have is never good enough, but I also feel like looking at my team, it has a lot of strength on it, and there's also a lot of disruption. So I was talking about in one of the other interviews was what's pressure. The definition of pressure is it's not just damage. It could be a status. It could be just a board position. It could be threatening, unstoppable speed control. Like it could be like Trickham's going up this turn based on how I positioned it, and that's threatening. So I feel like I have so many different things and ways of playing this team. I think it does stack up pretty well against the other teams. But again, looking at, for example, yours and looking at Ants with the Incineroar, the Urshifu, and the Whimsicott, like it's really easy to look at what other people have and say how good theirs are without looking inward and seeing that you got what you wanted and you're putting your best foot forward.
Makes sense, yeah. I think that's definitely a thing, and I think after drafts is, I think you do tend to, like, everyone loves their team, but then you sometimes tend to start looking into the teams, and then your mind starts to wander, like, oh, how do I match up with this team, and how do I match up with someone? I think it could be a little bit of that. Like, I think just that syndrome of, like, oh man, maybe I didn't draft as good of a team as I thought because this person has been one.
Well, who rated,
I mean?
who rated you and I 1 and 2 for some reason?
I don't remember. It might have been Tiny Gambit King, I think it was. I don't know if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like I like my team and all, but I didn't think that it was number 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
It's all subjective. Yeah,
man of class.
Yeah, I mean, everything is subjective until it comes to Cavs. Cavs is the worst team, obviously. So, we can, yeah, exactly. Right.
Spitting facts.
You gotta be able to do that. So you did mention Ogrepon Hearthflame. Is that kind of who you think is the most your best mon that you drafted, or your favorite mon that you drafted? Do you think that's going to be like, oh yeah, this is it's going to be fun?
Yeah, that's going to be. I think it's going to be target number 1 in people's plans, because picking a terror type against that thing is very difficult. And when you have the supporting cast like Prim and Sandy Shocks, and not to mention the other things like the Sleep Powder Spam, and then is it a Ogrepon or is it a Zoroark? That's a whole nother thing. So I think Ogrepon is my ace, and I believe it's protected very well with the supporting cast. So yeah, I think it's definitely the one to look out for.
Cool. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I do kind of looking at your team. It's just kind of, it does do well to complement its strengths. You got your Tailwind, you got your Sunsetter, and just the other things that cover the types that do well against it. So I guess in the opposite direction, what's a mon that you're like, people are not going to see this coming, and kind of you're gonna catch people by surprise, I guess.
Is the easy and boring answer Zoroark? like you literally won't see it coming. Like.
Well, yeah, I see what you did there.
No, but the cool answer I think is probably Sableye. That thing is more disruptive than people give it credit for, unless you actually know. I think actually there was a week that you and I were prepping one week, and Prankster Will-O-Wisp we had to change the entire team. Like it was insane. It was just like this team is great, but Prankster Will-O-Wisp is impossible to deal with this team. We had to change the whole thing. So hopefully it has that impact, and people kind of. Like, obviously, the skill swap prankster stuff is pretty cool. I'm not sure who I would do that with, but fake out pressure, quash, so speed control, snarl, icy wind, and then you've got your prankster screens, and then you've got There's just so many fun things. Prankster Encore Disable's another one. This thing is, its stats aren't quite there, but man, this thing's got the kit.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense because I do think that it's going to be pretty interesting. How it kind of stacks up. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. Every time I see a
Me too.
Zoroark we drafted, I feel like sometimes like I don't know how it's gonna overall do because it's kind of who knows it can be a little bit frail. But what's cool about this one is that the Hisui one is it's got 3 immunities, which is pretty toxic when it comes to facing against and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be very very cool. So I guess next question would be how would you describe your playstyle? Are you a hyper offensive player? Are you a hard trick room player? Are you a limit cook player? Are you a balance player? What kind of is your ideology when you play?
Well, and I know that there's usually just a straight answer, one of the three or one of the many ways of playing, but I don't know if I 100% even believe this myself, but I said this before, like in another interview, is that the play style that you want to play is the one that wins. If the win condition I have based on a specific team I'm facing is stall, I don't care if I like playing stall. That's the way to go. Same thing with like you and I just played a match yesterday, and we played against a player that likes to set up. We were facing a lot of really disruptive things, and guess what? Hyper offense was the way to go. It's not usually my favorite way to go, hyper offense, but sometimes that's what you need to do. Don't give them a chance to get going and, overwhelm them so they can't set up. So when it comes to which play style maybe I prefer, I like to add a little bit of spice into every team a little bit so it's not boring. A little bit of what's it called, ADD or whatever it is. Like, I don't want to just play boring Pokemon. Like, I brought Stonejourner to a tournament, like to a regional, and another one I brought Tinkaton, and another one I just brought like Howl Strats. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the game's got to be fun at the same time, but at the same time, you know what else is fun? Winning. So.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah, because I think seeing the way that you played, it's curious to see how you self-describe yourself as a player, because I think we all have our own individual ways that we lean towards playing and like towards playing, but sometimes you do have to sort of adapt. So very cool. So what's a match that you're kind of well, the schedule's out, so you have that unfair advantage. What's the match that you're kind of looking forward to? And I guess what's the match that you're not looking forward to?
Let's go. Week 5.
Yeah, good luck. Have fun with that one.
For anybody, yeah, really. For anyone who doesn't know, me and Adrian here, we are probably very good friends. So we talk about our matches for a while. Like, we still talk about the time he beat me in playoffs, twice actually. And we prep together a lot. So yeah, like, I want to beat someone I'm close to. So yeah, get wrecked. Another one, I would have to look at the schedule. I think I've only really looked at my week 1. Like, I think Otto is pretty cool too. Like, usually you don't mention your week 1. I want to see Otto. I caught him at the end of a season that he already had clinched, and I beat him. But I don't think I really got the true Otto. I wanted to face him again, and I didn't get that chance. So I'm looking forward to week 1, actually. Just let's get going,
That's cool. Yeah, no, definitely going to be a nice matchup. We playing the Dozogiri first, which is going to be that'll be fun.
I'll be the guinea pig for everybody.
Yeah, you can show us what's going on with that, so that way we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So how he plans to use it. So I guess looking back on your draft, was there anything that you thought like, oh man, like got sniped, or I should have maybe picked this, or like were you kind of upset with anything that kind of how it went?
Like, I guess talking about my snipes, I think I've mentioned it like already in the other interviews. I've kind of done like a mini interview pretty much every time, alluding to my own team sometimes. But the Spectre, I feel like kind of hurt, because I really wanted that naturally fast ghost offense that another thing that you have to prepare for when you're building the team. And obviously you can say that about any Pokemon on this team or on most teams, just given the format that we're in. But I feel like that offered so many different things with its bulk, speed, and also the snowball effect of the Grimnay that it offers. I really, really wanted the Ghost offense, and I missed out on it. And I was scrambling. Like my last pick of the draft, or second last pick of the draft, was Zora Kasui, and that was the best I could do offense-wise with the special attacker or just the Ghost offense, right? At least that fit. So that snipe hurt a bit, but I feel like I kind of adapted okay. Was there another part of that question? I don't remember.
No, you answered it. Just anything that you missed and anything that you got sniped on. I think you answered it pretty well. And so I guess to kind of go into this, wrapping it up a little bit, like, what's kind of your message to the league and how you see yourself doing this season?
It'd be nice to make the playoffs. Like I think, like everybody is, I don't know. Like I think everybody is just trying to be funny and trying to be fun in these interviews, and they're all like, "Hey, no, baby, let's go." But on a realistic sense, like I would like to just make the playoffs, and then it's one and done once the playoffs start. So it doesn't matter if you finish first or eighth. Just get in. And once you get in, anything can happen, right? You get hot at the right time, and you might have a slow start to the season, but once you get in, anything can happen, right? So I've seen a number of 8 seeds win championships, so I just got to get to the show,
Spoken like a true Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Oh my goodness, really?
All right, cool. So I think we're gonna get into the last section here, which is gonna be your rapid fire questions. So just answer them plainly. I don't need a whole life story.
Yeah.
Just let me know what it is. Okay, so your first question is best Pokemon generation.
1, obviously.
Okay, Boomer. What type of gym leader? What type of gym leader would you be?
Cool one. I don't know. That's not the answer you're looking for. You mean like
No,
type?
You want to type? Yeah.
I do think one of the cooler gym leaders in Pokemon is the one where you had to fight all the members of the band, and then the gym. I think it was Gen 5, right? Do you remember the name of the gym leader?
Dude, you're questioning me on the gen that I probably played. Gen 5 and Gen 4 are probably the least that I've ever played.
Yeah, well, I think it was Gen 5, and I don't remember what the gym was, but it was like they were playing music the whole time, and then like every time you defeated one of the band members, it would eliminate that part of the song. So if you beat the drummer in the first game, or in the first whatever battle, the drums would cut out from the song, and it was really anyway. So I think the music one would be cool, and I don't know, just being the most annoying, grindy Nuzlocke killer. That'd be cool.
Okay. What's your held item?
My personal held item?
What's your held item?
What do you mean?
It's a simple question. What's your held item?
Leftovers, because I like to snack. I don't know.
There you go. Good answer.
Fair.
What's your favorite Paldean Pokemon?
Oh, what are they? Let me see.
No, just one.
Well, I just want to know
Your
which
favorite.
ones.
Your favorite.
I don't know. I think that like what are they? I'm even looking Paldea. Nothing's coming up. Or are you just saying anything from that Dex?
What's your favorite Paldean Pokemon?
Okay, so it doesn't have to be like Paldean Tauros or Paldean Wooper or Paldean something.
Sure, Paldean Tauros it is, everybody.
Yeah,
Alrighty, well, and that's your look into the Toronto Six. He's bold, dangerous, and he's the voice of the league himself. Well, I am the owner. He does speak on my behalf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jay, thanks for sitting in the hot seat, and I will see you on the battlefield. Do you want to give any last shout outs or plugs to your socials and channels anywhere, or anyone that is listening out there that might be listening?
I want to plug everybody. Like, I know this is the last interview we're doing. I think the whole idea of doing this is that everybody's channel kind of gets watched, because it's fun games, right? I think the coolest thing is, like, obviously you might not watch every game if you're spectating, but if there's someone that you like watching, after you're done watching theirs, watch the perspective of the other player, just to kind of see what they were thinking. It's really interesting to kind of see the other perspective per turn, like why would they do that and what were they thinking. So that'd be the one thing I'd recommend, at least, just if you're going to pick one and follow somebody, just watch the other one or watch all of it. The content's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I definitely will not be doing that. All right, everybody. So have a good one, and we'll see you on the next video.